This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association. Your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Mark Magnuson.
Hello and welcome into Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Mark Magnuson. Today is Monday, July 24th, 2023, and we're so glad you could join us for today's show. In today's episode, I will speak with Bill Luckey of the National Pork Board. We will also have a check of the ag weather outlook, but first, let's run down the markets.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
At the end of another trading day, we are joined by Robin Schmahl of agmarket.net. Robin, we had a lot of green on our market screens today as far as the grains are concerned. What was driving that movement to the upside today?
Yeah, basically you can almost take your pick. We had so many different aspects or areas that you could take a look at. Most of the strength really came from Russia's attack on some warehouses on the Danube River because the Black Sea corridor was basically closed. They didn't renew that corridor agreement. So Danube River has been, and now more importantly, an area in order to ship out some of the grain that goes over land. And now Russia attacked that. So there were basically the reports of 3 grain warehouses were destroyed. So that's what really drove probably initially the wheat market, with that being up like 60 cents. But that obviously impacted corn quite a bit as well. Now corn moved back and forth a little bit earlier in the morning, but then just gained strength and just kept on going as we moved into the close. Now, on top of that, we got the heat wave coming in into the Corn Belt, which is uncertain as to how that's going to impact things as far as the growing is concerned. Some places have got good moisture, some places haven't. And the duration of that should be mostly this week and then kind of back off, at least in the northern part of the Midwest. Some of the western part still going to hang on for a bit longer. And that area is going to remain somewhat dry over the next 2 weeks. So you had that, plus you had some export bans. India later last week said they were going to ban some of the rice exports, and they're top exporter of rice because they want to keep in check their internal prices. So now we're dealing with a situation in the whole market here where there's concern over food supply. If we have an impact on our grain production, China's in a real dry situation. We have this issue with the war going on. We have now potentially some import bans, maybe India starting it, but maybe there'll be some more if we continue to see some of this stuff going on. So now it almost seems like it could be taking on a whole new level, at least for today or short term. Things can change fairly quickly. Now, we did have export inspections this morning. Corn was 12.2 million bushels. That was down 4 million from last week. Soybeans at 10.4 million. That was up 4.5 million from last week. So that was really good to see. Wheat at 13.2 million bushels, and that was up 3.1 million bushels from the previous week. Now, this afternoon, we will be looking at crop conditions again. Corn right now is expected to be the same as last week in the good to excellent category at 57%. Last year, it was 61%. So not too far off, but yet the being below is a little bit of a concern. Soybeans at 56% versus 55 last week. So an increase of 1% in good to excellent category, 59% a year ago. They're fairly close. They've closed that gap a little. Spring wheat at 50% good to excellent, 51% last week. So a percent decline is what is expected. 68% good to excellent for the same week a year ago. Winter wheat is harvested or expected to be at 66%, up 10% from last week and comparative to 77% a week ago. So a lot of different things played into that market today that just really got the excitement going. And I'm anticipating that we might see a little bit of a continuation of that tonight or even into tomorrow's trade until the market settles down a little bit.
So, Robin, with all that strength in the grains, how did the livestock side of the markets react today?
Well, livestock was kind of interesting. Obviously, we had the cattle on feed report Friday, basically on feed numbers were down 2%. That was not too much different than what was expected, but still showing a contraction, and which is keeping the market tight. Marketing's at down 5%, which that was in line with expectations. But the surprise was the placements being up 3% from a year ago. Now, when we started out trading this morning, we did see the reaction to that. We saw the markets open lower, they gapped lower, and but then it seemed like the trade wanted to discount the placement numbers. And there's been a lot of discussion over that, but discount the placement numbers. So we started rallying, and we saw prices coming back rather substantially until mid-morning. Around 10:30, then the market turned and she just went lower. It could not work against the higher corn prices, especially on the feeder side. And some reality did set in so that maybe can't discount the whole placement number quite as much. So there was a trying of the trade to discount that number and push it higher, but it just could not hold. Now, the grain prices, obviously, if they continue to move like they are, that may supersede what we're seeing in cattle strength, because what can happen is that some of the the feedlots might be more apt to start selling some of the cattle without trying to hold like they did the last 2 weeks hold for higher prices. Because last week we had $2 higher cash on southern cattle, $3 to $3.5 higher on the northern dressed cattle. So they've been holding out, pulling the packers higher. But if corn prices keep going up, that's probably not going to happen. They might be more apt to sell, which then would push more pressure onto that market as we move through the day. Boxed beef prices at midday were both higher, with choice up 82 cents, select up $1.61. It's been unusual to see both categories higher over the last number of weeks. On the hog side, futures were under pressure. There's some unwinding of spreads with the pressure more so on the October contract. Higher grain prices, hot weather, limiting some weight gains and or some of the hog movement this week. And we had the daily direct cash market was actually down on Monday. The last number of Mondays we were higher. Cash was down on Monday, at least at the midday report, down 85 cents. But on the midday cutout prices, we were up $3.31. So we're seeing seemingly some good demand there over the weekend that cutouts are moving higher. But I think packers were a little reluctant to open up the checkbook to buy early this week, just waiting to see how things were going to pan out here after we move through the first day.
Well, you're right, Robin. A lot happening right now and a lot to navigate through. What's the best way for our viewers to get in touch and hopefully personalize their marketing plan?
Okay, they can call me directly at 877-256-3253 or go to our website, agmarket.net. The 844 number is there on the screen. They can call in and somebody will be able to help them.
Robin Schmahl of agmarket.net, our guest here today. Robin, thank you so much for the time, and we'll speak again soon.
Thank you. Always a pleasure to be on.
That was Robin Schmahl of agmarket.net with our closing market analysis. Let's turn our attention now to the closing numbers, and those numbers courtesy of the folks at Bar Chart. September corn is up 33.5 at 560 1/2. New crop December corn up 568 1/4. August soybeans up 22 1/4 at 1523 1/4. New crop November soybeans up 22 3/4 at 1424 1/2. September soybean meal up $4.10 at $4.30.40. September soybean oil up $2.19 at $68.21. Chicago wheat up 59 3/4 at $7.77.5. Chicago wheat up 48 even at $9.44.5, and Kansas City hard red wheat up 58.5 at $9.25 1/4. December oats up 15.5 at $4.70 3/4. On the Merc, August live cattle down $1.27 at $178.75. August feeder cattle down $2.67 at $243.25. August lean hogs down 57 cents at $100.10. August pork cutout down 65 cents at $108.17, and Class 3 milk down 4 cents at $13.77. That wraps up our ag market recap here on Ag Matters PM. It's time now to take a quick break to hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association, and the Soy Checkoff. And when we come back, I will be joined by Bill Luckey of the National Pork Board.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Welcome back to Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Mark Magnuson. In today's episode, I speak with Bill Luckey of the National Pork Board. Mark Magnuson for the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, and I'm joined today by Bill Luckey. He is a producer from Columbus, Nebraska. We're here at the National Pork Board display, or I should say exhibit, here at World Pork Expo 2023. And today we're talking about international market development. And Bill, it's interesting that we get to talk with a producer today about this topic, because it's usually something that we're talking to someone from the National Pork Board about. Mm-hmm. From your perspective, how important just is the export market for the entirety of the pork industry here in the United States?
Well, when you look at the 25 to 27% of the product is exported, it's a major, accomplishment for us to make sure that we maintain those markets, because if we had to consume 27% of that product here in the United States, it would be overwhelming. So the exports are very important to the producers, and we just need to make sure that we increase that and maintain that level of exports.
And speaking of increase, we see these big export numbers come back. It seems like the last few years, and last year was a great year as far as exports are concerned. Do you think there's still room to grow this market even more? Are we going to continue to see jumps made as we expand the overseas marketplace?
We sure hope so at this point, but when you look at other suppliers around the world, there's some issues that some of these other countries are having, whether it be disease or regulation. So there's going to be some opportunities, I feel, for the United States producers to increase their share of exports. So we're going to make sure that we're prepared for that. We know where we can move our product, and what type of products we're moving, because we want to utilize the whole pig. That's one of our goals, is to make sure that we can get the most value for the whole animal. And sometimes we have to do that in a foreign country. It may not have the value that it does in another country, so we want to make sure that we put the right product in the right country and be able to supply that market consistently when they need it.
And speaking of carcass utilization, so we're talking about, like you said, all the different parts of the animal, and some countries maybe aren't necessarily used to a certain cut of pork, or it's just not one that they're totally familiar with, mm-hmm. and they might go another direction. I'm not sure the average person here in the United States realizes how much of the animal is utilized in the marketplace.
The whole animal is utilized. We just don't see it here in the United States, because a lot of our variety meats are exported to other countries, whether it be to some Southeast Asian countries, China, Central America, wherever it may be, because some of these countries, the affordability may not be there to import the traditional muscle cuts, but yet the variety meats, which is very high in protein, a very good product for them, and they're able to utilize it real well over there, and very happy to get it to meet the protein needs of their population.
And as far as the utilization of the carcass, all of the different cuts that are able to be sold in these overseas markets, do you think that has been what's led to this expansion of overseas markets for U.S. pork, that added ability to just sell different parts of the animal to different places of the world?
It definitely helps. We need to make sure that we try to find all types of markets. Right now we're exporting to roughly 100 countries. And we want to expand that. MPPC has to get us market access. But when that happens, we want to be able to go into those marketplaces and supply them with product. And we have done other studies to look at opportunities around the world to see what type of products they need and the affordability that they have. So we're going to be able to be prepared, because you don't go into a market one day and sell the next. You have to have a relationship with their buyers. You have to just have relationships with the people. They have to understand you, things like this. So it takes time. And we want to be prepared for when they do come on, that we'll be prepared to provide them with the products that they need. And hopefully that'll be sooner than later, though, too.
And Bill, we know that consumers, they want sustainable products and products that they can count on and that are going to be high quality. And part of the way that that becomes a reality is getting a chance to meet with actual producers of
yes.
U.S. pork. From your perspective as a producer, do you like those interactions when you get to meet with people that are learning about U.S. pork and how the industry is shaped here in the U.S.?
I've been accused of making a new best friend when I go over to another country, because I really enjoy talking to people. I'm proud of what I do, and I'm very proud to tell people about it. And they're very interested in what we do, to just show them pictures and explain this is how we do it. These are the programs that we can reassure them that we've gone through the training, we know what we're doing, and the animals are well taken care of. They're getting a very safe product, nutritionally, and a very sound product that way. But I really enjoy talking to people about what we do. I'm proud of it, and as all producers, we should be proud of what we do to provide protein for the rest, not only for our families, but for the rest of the world.
Bill, is there anything else you'd like to let our listeners or our viewers know about when it comes to this opportunity to expand the international marketplace for U.S. pork?
Well, you can be reassured that pork checkoff dollars are being utilized to the best of our ability to. We partner with USMEF, who is located around the world. They have offices in all of these exporting countries. And when you have a person from in-country talking with people in that country, it just makes it a lot easier to export. But producers can be reassured that these export dollars or checkoff dollars are being utilized to the best that we can.
He is Bill Luckey, our guest here today. We are once again at the National Pork Board at World Pork Expo 2023. Bill, thanks so much for the time, and have a great rest of the expo.
Well, thank you for the interview.
Thank you to our guest, Bill Luckey, here on Ag Matters PM. It's time now for a check of the Ag Weather Outlook. A look at the calendar today, and it certainly feels like July 24th in the state of Iowa. It is a warm summer day with a lot of sunshine. As we turn our attention to this evening, we do have some chances for some thunderstorm activity, but they are going to be slight chances. So make sure and check with your local Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network affiliate to find out where those chances for storms are tonight. And then tomorrow will be very similar to what we are seeing today. However, it is going to be even just a little bit warmer as we start to think about tomorrow's temperatures. So let's turn our attention now to the National Weather Service and what's in store for the next 24 hours.
As you can see from the National Weather Service, mostly sunny skies across the state today. High temperatures expected 87 to 94. Partly cloudy skies tonight, slight thunderstorm chances in central and eastern Iowa, with our temperature range expected 64 to 70. Partly sunny skies and hot temperatures statewide for Tuesday. Our warm-up will continue as our expected temperature range 89 to 95. And time now for our affiliate weather map for Tuesday. Cherokee, partly sunny with a high near 89. Shenandoah, partly sunny, a high near 92. Des Moines, mostly sunny on Tuesday with a high near 95. Mostly sunny in Albia on Tuesday, a high near 95. Waterloo, mostly sunny, a high near 92. And Clinton, sunny skies with a high near 93.
And that's going to do it for the Ag Weather Outlook here on Ag Matters PM. For a more detailed look at your forecasts, make sure to check in with your local Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network affiliate. You can find all of our online content at our website at iowaagnet.com. You can also find us on YouTube. And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell icon as well. That will let you know whenever we have any new videos available for you. And don't forget our free twice daily market podcast that you can find wherever you find your favorite podcast on Google, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and Podbean. From the IARN studios in Des Moines, I'm Mark Magnuson. For Dustin Huffman and Riley Smith, this has been Ag Matters PM.